Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we are going to be talking about the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders has finally been drafted in the fifth round by the Cleveland Browns, but we will get to that part later in the video. I am not the biggest college expert whatsoever, and I don't know a majority of the players. I only know the big ones that I hear about during the draft process overall. Um, I will do my best to break down round 1 through 5. Granted, I will skip through round 1 a bit because we're on day 3 at this point. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what happened in round 1, so I won't spend much time with it, and sort of same thing for round 2. Granted, I won't go super deep, obviously, in like round 4, obviously, because, I'll talk about it overall, but I know there is still talent. There's definitely still talent around these areas, around round 3, 4, 5. Shedeur Sanders just got drafted. Now I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about him. I've seen a lot of people arguing and saying, "Oh, he fell this far because he's not actually good, or he's arrogant, or whatever." Um, I did feel like there was people prank calling him, and I kind of felt bad for him at that point because that's like kind of messed up, you know. Like imagine just like wait, expecting to go the first round, right? And then you don't, and then there's people prank calling you, going like, "Oh, you're being drafted by the Saints and shit," right? I think that's a little messed up in my opinion. I do feel bad for him. And I'm happy he finally got drafted overall. Um, Granted, it's to the Cleveland Browns, but being drafted is being drafted, and that's better than anything else. So I mean, even if it's to the Browns. I mean, Baker Mayfield escaped the Browns, and he's doing just fine. So maybe Shedeur will be free from the Browns. I think because he's a fifth round pick. I don't know because they don't get the standard 4 year long contract for the like first round rookies do they? I'm not sure how that all works. Do they? I don't actually know. Actually, I don't know anything about how those type of contracts work. But I don't think they get signed for as long, right? I don't think so. Basically, though, he could be free from the Browns and soon, or maybe he turns the Browns around. I don't know. Anyways, so again, I'm not the biggest college expert, so I will talk about this as best I can. But if I don't know anything, I'm not going to try to talk about it. If I see a random player, I'm not going to say, "Oh yeah, this guy's good," except I don't know anything about him. But anyways, again, I'm going to be talking about the first round, and if you don't want to hear about the first round again, you can probably skip ahead a bit into the video. So let's start with the Tennessee Titans with the number 1 overall pick. They picked Cam Ward. For them, I think it's a good pickup because they need a quarterback. Now, granted, some people are like, "Oh, he's not actually good." Like, I mean, do you really think that? I mean, again, I don't know much about college football. I know I'm pretty sure he's pretty good, but I think overall this is a good pick for them because it gives them a future. They needed a quarterback. I mean, there's no way they're going to pass on it. Um, and I definitely think for them at least it's a good pickup and everything. So, and then number 2 is Travis Hunter. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They traded up with the Browns to get Travis Hunter, and he plays wide receiver and cornerback. And also, Trevor Lawrence has never really had a true number 1 receiver or anything. I'm just kind of curious as to how he will play in the NFL. NFL is a lot more hardcore than it is in college, for sure. I don't know. I'm sure he'll be able to pull it off, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, can someone tell me in the comments if is he a better receiver or a better cornerback? Like, which role is he better at? Because I don't know. But if he's a good receiver and a good cornerback, this is a good pick for the Jaguars, especially if he lives up to the hype. And I'm relatively sure he will. He also seemed very happy to get drafted by the Jaguars instead of the Browns. And to be honest, that's fair. The Browns are bad. I wouldn't want to be drafted there either. Um, but okay, New York Giants got Abdul Carter. That's a great pickup for them to bolster up their defense. They're kind of building something on the defensive line right there. They got a pretty good one building up so far. Obviously, I see why they're playing in a. First off, they're playing in the conference, the NFC. That's quite tough. All right, there's the Lions. If the Niners are back, the Niners are in trouble. The Rams, did I already mention the Lion? No, I already mentioned the Lions, right? Packers, Eagles, Commanders, my Seahawks, all those teams are potential contenders in the NFC. And if the Giants want to compete, they got to have a good defense. And it all starts up front, for sure. Patriots get Will Campbell to help the offensive line because that's something that did not exist much of last year. That's good for them. I think they might have got some receivers in the second, third round because that's definitely what they needed is some receivers as well. They need a lot of things, but this is a good step in the right direction. The Patriots still need a lot to even consider competing anytime soon, especially with the Bills ruling their division, solely ruling their division. By the way, because I just don't like the Jets. They do so much just to do nothing overall, and then the Dolphins, same thing. They do maybe they'll do well in the regular season, but then once they hit the playoffs and have to play in a cold climate, they fucking suck. Cleveland Browns get Mason Graham. It's a good pickup for their defense on there. Raiders get Ashton Genty, very good running back for them. Jets get a offensive lineman. Panthers get receiver. Good thing for them. A lot of people are like, oh, they shouldn't have done this, but I think overall, I think this was a good pick. I mean, granted, yeah, they could have used a lot more things, and some people say the guy they drafted is not even the best receiver. But to be honest, at least they got one, and I've watched a few clips of him, McMillan, and he has some good ass plays. So to be honest, I think it's a good pick for them. Um, this is when it got crazy. When the Saints passed on Shador the first time, we're like, there's no way. They got offensive linemen. Like, okay, I guess they chose to do that. Bears got a tight end, Colston Loveland. I've seen a few of his clips too. He's crazy, so that is good for the Bears to help their offense. Their offensive line is still bad. Well, no, I think they made a lot of moves for the offensive line, right? Never mind. I take that back. I'm pretty sure they made a lot of moves for that. But we'll see if it actually holds up and if Caleb Williams can truly show his potential. Because last year, even if he made good plays, he was also being rushed like 99% of the time. So 49ers got an edge. Williams, he's going there. Cowboys got an offensive lineman as well. They got a guard, which was also surprising because I thought they'd go somewhere else. But getting a guard is good, I guess. They got to protect Dak Prescott. They're paying him a shit ton of money, so they got to protect him. Dolphins go defense. Anyways, this is around the time of the video where I'm going to kind of start skimming through the first round. It's mostly done. I mostly talk about like the big picks. So Arizona Cardinals picked a defensive guy, Walter Nolan. Walter. The Cincinnati Bengals also go defense. That's good for them because holy moly, their defense was bad last year. Now, granted, drafting one guy won't automatically fix it, but hey, if the Bengals can even improve a little bit on defense, I think they can make the playoffs again because they got real close. Last year, they got close and they were close to making it. So if they can at least improve the defense a little bit, that's a big move. My Seattle Seahawks finally addressed the offensive line for the love of God, because that's for some reason we're allergic to something we're allergic to doing. Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafted a receiver preparing for Mike Evans' potential retirement. Mike Evans is getting up there in age, so I totally see why they did this pick. Good pick for them because, to be honest, that's what they need. They need to prepare for eventually when he retires. Chris Godwin had an injury last year, so it is not wrong to have a good trio. Especially if all of them are healthy, it'll be a good trio going into next year. Sorry, excuse me. Denver Broncos get a cornerback. Good pickup for them to pair with Patrick Surtain. The Steelers passing on a quarterback might be the most confusing thing ever. Because I'm looking at this because they have pick 21. I'm like, okay, this is a good chance to get either Shador Sanders or any other fucking quarterback. Instead, they go a defensive guy. That's not a terrible thing. There's nothing wrong with bolstering their defense because help J.J. Watt out a little bit, right? Because he seems like a one-man army half the time. Chargers go a running back. And Packers, the environment in Green Bay during the draft is honestly pretty cool. I'm not even a Packers fan. I admire that environment. It just seems so awesome over there. They announced they picked Matthew Golden, their first wide receiver picked in the first round since like 2002, so that's crazy. The Vikings go offensive line. That's good because Lord have mercy, was Sam Darnold being pressured last year during the later half of the year. The Giants traded with the Houston Texans to draft Jackson Dart. A lot of people are like, this is a crazy reach because he's not even the best quarterback and he, blah, 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 blah. Really, I think this is a good pick for them, the Giants, because first off, they have Russell Wilson. And say what you want about Russell Wilson. He's still a veteran that can teach Jackson Dart a lot of valuable things. So if they have Jackson Dart sit for a year, and Russell Wilson, I think he's only on a 1-year contract, plus he's already old, so I think if they have him sit behind Russell Wilson, he'll turn out pretty good. And it's good for the Giants though because they need a quarterback as well. Obviously, because they have a bunch of like 1 year signed players. They have like Russell Wilson, James Winston. So overall though, I think that's a good pick. The Falcons traded up with the Rams to get another defensive player, and they traded their first round next year, though. So if the Falcons end up bad next year, which I'm not sure if that would happen, but if they end up like sucking, the Rams could get 2 first round picks, probably a top 10 or top 15 pick if the Falcons are really bad. Um, and if the Rams have a decent season themselves, they can get like a pick in the 20s, like mid 20s, while they also have a top 15, top 10 pick if the Falcons end up sucking or, whatnot. That's a crazy. Um, the Ravens go defense because it's something they need to bolster that defense. They already have a good defense, but they just need to add as many men people there as possible just to fight back against the Chiefs because that's one thing every team struggles with. They can go score for score with the Chiefs, but when it comes to when it matters most, they can never stop the Chiefs on offense. And that's why every team fucking loses to the Chiefs in the playoffs because they can never stop them when it matters most. So it's kind of ironic that both the Bills and the Ravens picked a defensive player to hopefully counter the Chiefs because I'm tired of seeing them in the Super Bowl. I'm tired of seeing them winning. Commanders get offensive line help. Eagles get a linebacker, and Chiefs get an offensive lineman as well. Okay, that's the first round. Very simplified and talked about it really fast. I didn't even name anybody. We'll go over round 2 a bit. Browns picked first. Texans get Jaden Higgins. The Seattle Seahawks, my team, traded up in the second round, my bad, to get a safety. That's awesome because I've seen some of his clips. He looks awesome, so I'm excited. The Browns got a running back. Again, we're going to kind of skip through at this point. 49ers get another defensive guy. Again, the Saints passed on Shador multiple times, so at this point, they're never going to pick him because they picked Tyler, this guy. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Oh, he's not even good. How could they pass on Shador?" It's clearly they didn't want him at all. Okay, I don't know what Shador Sanders did to make teams not want him. Okay, again, I don't know much about him. I just seen a lot of people say, "Oh, he's cocky or he's overconfident or whatever." Sorry, excuse me. Will Johnson, the guy who I heard about a lot, despite his injury concerns, he was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, and certainly if he lives up to the hype and injury does not block him at all, he will be good for the Cardinals because that's not a good thing though because the Cardinals suck. Where was the Bears picked? They picked somebody. They picked Luther Burden, right? Yeah, there it is. The Bears got a third receiver. They got Luther Burden. So now they have DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Luther Burden. That's a good trio right there for Caleb Williams. So really, on the offense, he has everything he needs to succeed, I think, for the most part. They have everything they need. The issue is competing in the NFC North. The NFC North is full of great teams. It has the Lions, Packers, and Vikings. Okay, those are all 3 teams that are all better than the Bears. The Bears will have to basically fight an uphill battle to even try to compete in that division. I don't know, man. But we'll see if getting all this offensive help for the Bears really proves it. Because defensive-wise, I think they got it relatively solved. Their defense is all right. Seahawks draft a tight end. Yeah, we're going to start skipping a bit more. Packers get offensive lineman. Bears, another offensive lineman. So that's good again. They're at least addressing it because it was bad last year. Yeah, for the most part, the second round, Bears had quite a lot. Bears had like 3 or 4 picks in the second round. That's crazy. Well, now let's go look at the third round. When it came to the third round, like, there's no way Shador Sanders is not going to be drafted at this point. I was expecting at that point, like, he has to be drafted at some point, right? Nope. He has not been drafted yet until obviously today. There's obviously still a lot of talent in the second round. A couple of wide receivers have been taken. A couple of cornerbacks, a couple of offensive linemen, defensive players, you name it. My Seattle Seahawks drafted a quarterback, Jalen Milroe. Um, Great pick. Sam Darnold. He's like 28 something. If he ends up sucking, we have insurance right here, basically. Granted, though, it is a good idea. I heard they said he should probably sit for a bit, and yeah, he definitely a good idea to have your. Ironically, this does remind me of the Russell Wilson situation, though, because Russell Wilson was drafted in the third round. He sat for no, he started right away. But difference is, Milroe likely will not start right away, but certainly if this will get. Damn, Raiders had two back-to-back picks. I was also expecting the Raiders to pick Shador. I would like the Raiders definitely have to get him because they don't have anyone else other than Geno. And when Geno retires, Geno's getting up there in age. Eventually they got to move on from him. Right? Um, okay, up to round 4 now. Again, more receivers taken. Again, I'm gonna kind of skip through this at this point. I think I kind of mentioned everything I need to mention. Now let's talk about it overall. Jack Sawyer to the Steelers. That's good for them. I've heard he's good. So that's Steelers are bolstering their defense. I just don't know how the Steelers have passed on a quarterback at this point. It's kind of confusing to me as how they've done such a thing. The Steelers need a quarterback, man. Why are you going to have DK Metcalf and George Pickens if you're not going to have anyone good to throw the ball to them? Surely they got to draft someone, right? Yeah, Shador Sanders went number 144 in the 5th round. Quite crazy. If he's as good as people say, but he's on the Browns. It's a huge handicap right there. Um, we'll see what happens with that, but you know, at least he got drafted. I did feel a little bad for him because he was getting prank calls, and it's messed up. That's a little messed up. Because that's his future right there, and people are like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna prank call him." Like, come on, man. In my opinion, prank calling any kind of player like that in general in the draft, it's a little messed up. I've already mentioned that, but overall, let's kind of. I don't need to break down the 5th round. I mean, I'm talking about it a bit. It's still ongoing. Who's on the clock right now? The Steelers are on the clock. The Steelers pick is in my bed. Um, Overall, a lot of teams got what they needed. They improved a lot of spots. Seahawks got a new quarterback in case Sam Darnold either A sucks or when he's no longer on the team or if he gets hurt or generally again a QB for the future. Shador goes to the Browns. That they have a lot of quarterbacks on their roster, so I wonder what's going to happen. Obviously, there's probably going to be a battle, a QB battle. So we will see what really happens there. Um, I'm still surprised. Not many quarterbacks have been taken. I mean, yes, quarterbacks have been taken, but for the most part, all the ones um, who's that guy from Texas? I don't know his name. the guy, I don't remember his name. He hasn't been drafted yet. But overall, I definitely think this has been a good draft so far for a lot of teams. A lot of teams are improving in important areas, especially from the 3rd round. There's a lot of steals in the 2nd round as well. Seahawks traded up to get a good player. Many teams. I just think it's been a good draft for a lot of teams so far. I don't know I don't know much about college players, so I can't say who won the draft. My Seahawks won. I'm joking. Technically, I would say the Seahawks definitely had a good draft. Packers had a good draft. They got a new receiver because they needed number one guys. A lot of their receivers, no offense to them, of course, they're not true number one guys. They're all a bunch of number 2s and number 3s, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Matthew Golden, he's definitely going to be a number one guy for them, and I'm not even a Packers fan, but I definitely look forward to seeing him on the field. Um, Again, I think it's been a pretty good draft for the Giants as well to get a defensive powerhouse like Abdul Carter and then to go get your quarterback of the future potentially with Jackson Dart. You know, if he can sit and learn behind Russell Wilson and really polish, it can be a good thing for them. It can be a great thing for them. Um, Ravens bolster defense. All these teams. A lot of defensive players were drafted in the 1st round. Actually, so yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Again, I skimmed through some of the picks. I'm sorry if you wanted me to talk more about the Vikings. I guess Vikings got some good players. It's been a good draft for a lot of teams. So we're not done yet, though. We still got round 6 and we still got the rest of round 5, 6, and 7. So we'll see obviously what happens there. But that will wrap it up for today. My Seahawks are on the clock right now in round 5. Wonder who they'll pick. But again, thank you guys for watching. Again, I am very sorry that I have not been uploading recently. I am trying to do a new not concept of type of videos. But I'll see how the logistics of that will actually work and everything, because I keep on messing it up to where the audio and the gameplay is not in sync. Basically, I'm trying to make videos that are live with the gameplay, but I keep messing it up every time I do it. But again, I will perfect it, and eventually I will have those type of videos out. Overall, thank you guys for watching. It's been a good draft so far, indeed. So I will see you guys in the next video. Probably later. I'm not sure. I have time to make more videos today, maybe, or maybe more tomorrow. But anyways, I'll see you guys later, and have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.